Let's talk about cover songs. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining me today. That only happens whenever I start these videos. You'll realize that I've been talking fine for this whole day. Never had to clear my throat until I hit record. Anyway, I kind of wanted to talk about, originally I had planned to talk about cover songs. My church tends to do a lot of covers. Just thinking about the 15 plus years I've played at Keystone Community Church on and off. We've done a cover song almost every Sunday. And by cover song, I mean a pop or a top 40 or just some classic oldies or just some song that is not necessarily a contemporary Christian song. I think that's an important distinction. So, at the time, like, we didn't write these songs. We were just playing them for the congregation. Typically, before service and as a starter to the service, we'll play a non-religious song that has something about it that is related or can be related to the message. Which, depending on the message, can take you all over the place. Last week, the band, I wasn't in the band, they did I Saw the Sign from Ace of Base, and really the main crux of that was that the series we're currently doing is called Signs, so it makes sense. I guess one of the main, well, let's talk about that. Some of the stranger songs we played Annie Lennox, Walking on Broken Glass, which I had never heard of. We played John Mayer, Waiting on the World to Change, Get Off This Train. Oh, there's been a ton. But then there's also been the fun ones that we did just because they were fun. So in the summer, we'll usually do some just to say, hey, it's summertime. So this is where we started doing things like Dock of the Bay, or that one tune by the Allman Brothers that I can never remember how to play. Summertime by Will Smith, that was a good one. Sister Sledge, We Are Family, working at the car wash. We did Uptown Funk. Yeah, that's fun. Just break that out in church. I'm sure people were really expecting that. That's not the point. I guess a lot of what's interesting about the covers to me is that we try to play them as closely as we can to the way they sound on the radio or the way they sound recorded. So we're trying to emulate that band with whatever instrumentation we have. So a lot of times you'll get something with a lot of synths. Well, we're not running with a lot of synths, so we aren't necessarily hitting those songs exactly, but we're trying to get them as close of a reproduction that you can really enjoy it and it invoke some memory, or you can really take you to that place. Think of the Rascal Flatts, Life is a Highway. So when we did that years ago, we made sure to have at least 4 guitar players, and because that song has legitimately 4 different guitars going on at the same time with the bass and drums and everything. So you really start working out ways to emulate these things. What's interesting to me is that their best covers that I've heard that I really stick with me don't sound like the originals. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, one thing that kind of stands out to me about covers and cover songs in general is that we always are trying to evoke some emotion. That's what makes a good cover. Is it how well you replicate the song? I don't think so, because a lot of times why go for the replication, why just reiterate what somebody's already done? Because ultimately, if you're just redoing what somebody else did, I might as well just listen to the original. You kind of have to bring your own thing to a cover, kind of make it your own. One of my favorite bands to listen to is Scary Pockets. They just do nothing but covers. They don't do any original songs, but they take songs that people would instantly recognize and they do this funk thing to them. So it by definition is a different song because the rhythm is different, the orchestration is different. A lot of times they have songs that were originally sung by female artists and now have a guy singing it, or they'll have a song that was originally done by a male vocalist and now have a girl singing it, and it's so different that you barely can call it the same song. I mean, sure, the lyrics may match up, but the way that the vocalist is singing it is going to be different. The way we're playing it, the groove, the feel, it's a different song. It's still a cover legally because they're still using the words, but it's a cover. If you heard their version first, would you like the original? Or how about this? Do you only like their version because you liked the original version and this is just a fun twist on that? That's a question I always kind of want to get answered. I mean, do I like cover songs because they're covers, or do I like cover songs because they're better than the original? I mean, there's certainly a lot of songs that are more popular and nobody really even knew that they were originally covers. I mean, Elvis is well known for a lot of his songs that really were somebody else's song to begin with. But he made them popular, right? Or he got more airplay for them. So people remember them as Elvis tunes, even though they were actually from someone else. There's a lot of history going on there. Kind of makes you wonder, though. When I was with Edge from Fallen, we used to do, we did a couple covers. So we're a metal band. That's fun. We did Hello. But we took it one step further. We didn't do Adele's version of Hello because that really wouldn't fit with the metal band motif. But Leo did a metal cover of Hello because that's what he does. He does metal versions of pop songs, right? So we covered his version. Right, because we were a band that only plays covers of covers. Anyway, I'll see you next week. How's it look? What do you think? Here, come sit with me. Let's see what happens.
Looks good.
I'll look in there. Say hi. See, found you. Hey, so you're still looking up here. Look down there.
But if I'm looking right here, it still shows me up there.
Yeah, but the whole thing is that if you're looking up there instead of looking in here, then people won't know you're talking to them. So you have to look in. You have to look deep into. You have to look in. Yeah, now look in there. Can you see? Can you see yourself in there? Yeah. I don't know. Go to, you can see what you got in there. You gonna say something while I drink my coffee? Go ahead and say something. Subscribe to my channel.
Go through my cards.
No, you gotta say subscribe to my channel.
It's not even a video yet.
And it might be if you say subscribe to my channel, please.
Subscribe to my channel, please.
Or subscribe to my dad's channel.
Subscribe to my dad's channel.
You gotta do it while I'm drinking. Go ahead.
Subscribe to dad's channel. I said dad's channel. I forgot to say my dad's channel.
Well, whose channel you want to subscribe to? Yours?
Hmm?
You have a channel? You haven't made one?
Yeah, I want to make one.
Well, when you're old enough to make one, then you should say subscribe. I'll come on yours and say subscribe to your channel. But right now, why don't you tell people to subscribe to my channel?
Subscribe to my dad's channel.
Yeah?
Be right back.